banyak dimensi.
Don't ever blame me on Sudut Pandang for never trying to point you to the right path after tonight, because I don't know, I have this feeling about Sharein. Even if they don't become the next YouTube or Twitter, they're going to be somewhere up there. And that's enough, maybe, because this is not going to be the first and the last product for you. I'm sure once you have a foothold in Web 2.0, and that proves the point that, hey, Malaysians from here can do this too. We might need to fly, take that long, go through all those homeland security kind of check and then, you know, body search or whatever, but we can make it.
Yes.
You know, we can make it if we do. So to prove this point, what are your plans for the future after Sharein? Because I'm sure the future now is to concentrate on making it a premium service, but after that, surely there'll be something else.
Yes. So to answer that question, I think there's a little bit of a history element as well. Really, the answer is I am Malaysian, and so I do want to see my country succeed. I do want to see my fellow countrymen succeed in the era of the internet as well. And so, you know, my personal, you know, feelings and thoughts, you know, after you know, the success of Sharein, so to speak, you know, it's $100 million company, $500 million company, or whatever. You know, what I would like to do basically is basically to spur the ecosystem over here, because I do fundamentally believe that a lot of times, you know, when it you know, if I could use the old Malaysia Boleh, basically, right? Malaysia Boleh. A lot of times it's a matter of perception, but not only perception, but maybe you just need a success story, or maybe you just need someone to help you and mentor you along the way. And so I think this ecosystem in Malaysia is just beginning. MDEC is starting to do a couple of things. You've got the pre-seed fund, the cradle fund, and stuff like that. You've got grants and stuff like that. That helps you, but that's not the full answer. And you know, I'm sure you know as well. So that needs to be spurred, if you will. I would like to see plenty of new internet companies come up, and I think Malaysia is very capable.
By virtue of where you are already at, I think you qualify to give some advice to people out there in terms of maybe a critique, because a lot of people that I've met, the young guys, the startup people and all this, the funders will say, we don't have good business proposal. They have good ideas, but you know, they don't convince us in terms of the plans that they have, whether they can see this through. Not all innovators can be good business person, for example. On the other hand, I will hear from the innovators and the would-be entrepreneurs, we can't even get any funding. You know, they ask us for a lot of questions that, hey, they wouldn't even ask the big guys about this. Just because we're small, they put more hurdles for us to get that money. Why is it so hard? So how do you see us balancing these two different polarity? Because we do need to bridge this if we were to move forward.
Correct. And that is a very good question, and that's actually the crux of the main issues that we have in the market today. What you have is entrepreneurs who are starting to become internet savvy or Web 2.0 savvy. And I'm speaking just strictly in this industry, if you will. Obviously, there's biotech and there's other industries as well, and differs from industry to industry. But let's take Web 2.0 because that's where I come from. So you're starting to see a lot of a lot of entrepreneurs who are starting to get the picture. You know, they're learning the ropes, if you will, and they're starting to push the company in. They get some seed grants and stuff like that. What's going to take you know, these guys to move forward is actually going to be the mirror side, which is technically savvy investors as well. And so traditionally in Malaysia, you have a lot of investors or venture capital companies which came from very traditional online, investment banking background. And they're used to private equity deals where it's existing companies that need money to, you know, acquire another company and so on and so forth. And so the numbers basically, the way you calculate them is different. When you're talking a Web 1.0, Web 2.0 company, it's very different. You can't go to them and say, give me your 18-month cash flow projection. That's not going to happen because they haven't figured it out yet. There's no cash flow projections. You can't guarantee a revenue and stuff like that. So there's going to be an education process, and I think a lot of that is happening right now already. The venture capitalists over here are starting to be savvy, and I hope they become even more savvy and understand that when you're investing in an early stage startup company, you're investing in the potential. You're not investing in a 10% return year over year or a 20% return year over year. You're investing in the potential that it could potentially be the next Google or the next Yahoo or the next YouTube, Facebook,
how
Twitter,
to value
and so
that
forth.
is going to be the fight, you know, because the subprime crisis might have diverted a lot of energies
Yeah,
towards
it has,
this
yes.
becoming more palatable, because you have to do unsound derivative market to get a return of 20%.
Yes.
But on a Web 2.0 startup, it might even be higher than that.
Correct.
100, 200, 500% return, for
Right.
example. But
Or way more than that.
yes,
if it's
way
right.
more
yeah.
than that, if you will. So thank you so much, Colin. We will keep track on you, because I've got to make good on my promise to lead on the right path. So we have to follow you. But maybe one last advice for the would-be entrepreneurs out there. Maybe even a 17-year-old taking SPM after this, and thinking, I don't want to work with anybody, I want to start on my own. Maybe that's where they should start.
I think the advice basically would be that don't let fear hold you back. And I think that's the biggest thing is fear, right? You want to have a stable job. And in traditional Malaysian mindset is you want to have a stable job, you want to have a salary, and you want stability. But sometimes what it takes is the ability to overcome fear. And it's not so much even overcoming fear, it's overcoming the fear of failure, basically. Because we're so, as a culture, we're so afraid of failing. We want to be perfect. Okay. In the internet, Web 2.0 world, there is no such thing as there's no such thing as
even if you fail, because of the speed of the internet 2.0, you can just have success.
In fact, I would say this. I would say you're bound to fail, and in fact, you're going to fail many times. The key is failing so many times and
that's
fast enough.
On my ear, asking me to conclude, but I have to make
success.
this point because I think this is very important. So, terima kasih banyak hantarkan pandangan industri kepada sudut pandang astro.com. Dan mai jumpa lagi malam esok. Sekian, terima kasih.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.